Hey everyone, this is Nazir with Project 2 for MDF 1.14.03. For this project, I continued on my last one, improved my Your Cup app. This time I designed it specifically for the iPad. This is the main page, which just gives you a quick post about the upcoming World Cup. You can either click on it or click next to go to the next page. And you'll get here with this. It's just some history about FIFA and some information about the upcoming World Cup. And click next again. These are just the teams. Just put a couple right now. Probably get updated to have more in here. Alright, so this is it for my main page. Now on the second tab I have the schedule, which on the left side I have the schedule of the matches for the World Cup, and on the right side I have my research from Full Sail, and each is getting dynamic data. So if I click on my match details, I get an image of the city that's occurring in, the two teams, their names, the date, and the time. If I scroll down, I get the stadium picture along with the name of it and weather for that day, and the points for both teams so far. These are completely random, they're not accurate at all, but I just typed them in the last second. And then behind here I got a picture that I blurred out using the blur effect, the method that I used last time. So I go back from here to go into my research. I have 5 posts. Click any of them, take me to my research page, which has got the title here. It's got the research that I found, just a random picture of Full Sail. The reference, I shortened up the URL because it was just too long, so I used this this site to shorten it up. But if I click here, it actually takes me to that post, but you'll have to look. So that's pretty much it. I got 20 matches over here and then 5, and they scroll completely. They're independent of each other, so one can scroll up, one can scroll down. It's pretty nice. And then for the last one, I was gonna try to do something different, but I ran out of time, so I just went with an about section, giving it the project name, class name, date, and my name, and then these items here are coming in through an NS object class. So it's just the app name and the description of the app. That is pretty much it for me. So let's get to the code. Code for this got complicated a little bit at the end. I originally didn't read the instruction good enough, so I thought I just had to create a UI table view with my data, and I thought the first step needed to have one post of the research. Well, it turned out that after reading it again, it was completely different. So I didn't want to take all the matches that I've already created out, so I just decided to create a new table view, and it's actually pretty easy. So this is my storyboard, and this is where I have the 2 table views. All I did to separate between the 2 is that on each table view I can actually put a tag number, and then if I go to the controller for that tab, in my number of rows in section and self for row at index path, all I have to do is do an if statement. So if the tag equals 1, return this. If the tag equals 2, return this. And it pretty much just does what that tag tells it to do. And that's how I separated the 2 table view. It wasn't hard at all. And it's pretty much just like last time, where it's getting its data from the array that I've created in the scheduled data, and then assigning it to that detail view through the custom cell. I did create a lot of more classes, so I decided to organize them by folders. So I have a folder for the schedule and research, I have a folder for the main tab, and I need to create a folder for the about section, which is just 2 classes. Now the about section, the data, it's getting its data from a class in the schedule and research group, which is the schedule data. That's where I input that's where it's getting its data from these 2 strings. So in my about view, all I'm doing is I created an instance of that class, and I'm just calling the NS strings located in that class to append to the text of the label. Other than that, it's just I moved my blur effect and custom view code from last week. Last week they were all in the same schedule view controller, so I moved them to their separate classes, and it made it a lot easier to call out to them from different classes and get that same functionality, so I don't have to copy it and paste it over and over again. So that saved a lot. So a couple of things I could have done better is read the instructions 3 or 4 times before I started my project, because after I thought I completed it, I went back and read it, and I was missing half of the stuff that's required. So I was trying to catch up with everything that I've missed. Other than that, I think I've reused a lot of code, and my project now is not organized at all. I could have done a better job at that, but I'll work on that over the weekend to try to make it look better and try to take out any code that I either commented out or I'm not using anymore. A quick note, if you're gonna use a lot of pictures in your app, make sure you optimize them using Photoshop, because if you just download them with a high quality on the internet and just dump all of them in here, you're gonna have some memory issues in your app, and it's actually gonna act really slow when you're trying to move between views. So what I ended up doing is I went back to optimize them as best as I can, trying to keep the quality, and I moved them back, and it's a lot faster. And so actually, if I go to the next view here, one cool thing I could do is I can slide my view and get back to the last one instead of just having to click the back button. So that is it for my project 2. I'll see you guys next week.